that's the tip. Your music submissions still suck. So what tricks can be used to best submit your music?
It's the creator's hustle.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Creator's Hustle, where we deal with the business of the entertainment industry. I'm Richard Chemaly, and today, as promised, we're looking at 5 tips to further legendaryfy your music submissions. First, thanks once again to our sponsors for this video below. And let's go. Tip number 1, learn about embargoes. Generally, it's used in news media, but can be extended to the entertainment industry too. Embargoes allow you to send information and music to platforms without giving them the permission to let it go any further before a particular date and time. Kind of like a "for your ears only until" clause. Strictly speaking, there's little you can do to prevent somebody from breaking the embargo, but it almost never happens because nobody wants to be that guy. And platforms who hurt the industry often lose their support, so there's an incentive to respect an embargo. What it allows you to do is have the platform listen to your track and arrange for interviews or social media campaigns or other cool release plans you might have, or anything that you can think of. But it gives time to plan it with the platform who you'd like your track to be on. So instead of just hearing your track on a couple of platforms throughout release date, you can do 5 or 6 interviews, maybe even pre-record a few more, and drive more hype. To embargo is pretty easy. Just clearly label your submission embargoed, date and time, done. Tip number 2. Indicate your availability for interviews. I may talk about interviews too much, but they're really important, and for a couple of reasons. Especially on local platforms, because you're likely to get those interviews because it provides some content for the platform. You can score off of converting the platform's audience into your audience. Most importantly, you can benefit from the double marketing when the platform markets your interview and you do too. Not only will you be present for the interview, but it will offer a lot more social media potential. The more interviews you score, the increased perceived legitimacy you'll have too. So yeah, it may seem a bit artificial, but is it really? You're in the interview legitimately and draw whatever legitimacy comes from that, naturally. Anyway, if you're available for interviews, make sure that they know it. And even if the interview is very far away, tech has come a long way. And before Mark screws this up, I'm going to say that means you can use tech to do an interview with someone far away. Number 3, develop relationships. If you get a favorable response, make note of it and use it. The industry is small, and opportunities to improve your network are worthwhile to pursue. See where collaboration is possible and investigate those opportunities. Compilers who like your track but can't get an interview, you can still offer to send them a voice note to play before your track, introducing it on their platform, or if a blog is into your band story, offer them an exclusive behind-the-scenes video that you took while you were recording. Small gestures do help a lot and go a long way to build a relationship, a good relationship in fact, with other industry players, and that can obviously only be a good thing. Tip number 4. Don't embellish and go on and on about your history. Award-winning that, an acclaimed artist this, is abused, excessive, and hardly gets the attention most people think that it does. Yeah, if the artist is recognized, some platforms would be more likely to give their submissions a bit more love. But if the compiler needs to rely on the words internationally recognized artist to know that you're an internationally recognized artist, they're probably not that great at their job anyway. And more likely, if you put that in there, they'll get that sweet sense of your desperation. The story of the artist is obviously important in the submission, but it should not rest, the submission should not rest on the laurels of previous accolades entirely. The submission is about the track being submitted, not the tracks which have done well already. Man's Not Hot couldn't get Big Shaq 1/10 of the views for Man Don't Dance. Should tell you enough already. And finally, the last tip to come in. Tip number 5, control your follow-ups. If making relationships is your aim, then pestering compilers with follow-ups is not the way forward. It may work for that particular submission, but it could ruin a future relationship, so maintain a good balance. That may be tough to suss out, like, what is that balance? I'd say if after one follow-up, up to 2 weeks after the submission, you're still getting no love from that particular platform, then leave it at that. Better to live to fight another day than to burn bridges because you came across as needy and annoying. Of course, you could just skip all of this and get a plug to submit your music, and if you do that, be sure that it's a plug with actual connections to the industry, and especially the connections that you want to get into, and not just some dude with a database of expired email addresses. But if you go at it yourself, you should consider everything we mentioned in these videos. Well, that's it for the Creators Hustle this week. If you liked this video and found it interesting, I'm really not bothered about asking you to subscribe, ring bells, or tell YouTube that it's great, or shut off the light on me. Just share it with your muso friends who might find it useful too. And let us know what we should discuss and deal with in the future episodes with the comments below. And